Arctic Monkeys' debut record turned 20 years old earlier in January this year. They haven't played a show in over 2 years, but what if they come back for an anniversary tour? Today we will be discussing what I believe I could see them playing, and maybe something that's a little less realistic. The realistic approach. This is a setlist I could see the band most realistically play. This one features 19 songs, which is about a typical setlist for the band. The band would come on stage and play the debut album in full and in order. This would be the main set, which is then followed by an encore. This encore would feature 6 songs from 5 of their other albums. It would start with Fluorescent Adolescent, the second single from their second album, until going into Crying Lightning off Humbug. We will then skip forward a couple albums to 4 out of 5 from Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino, followed by Body Paint from The Car. We would then revisit Favorite Worst Nightmare with 505 until closing on Are You Mine from AM. Of course we would be skipping Suckin' and See, but I'm sure the band wouldn't be opposed to that. One of the biggest and well-known Arctic Monkeys tribute bands, Arctic Numpties, did something very similar on the 20th anniversary of the album. They played the debut record in order with an additional 12 songs afterwards, double the encore I put together. They played all the songs I mentioned before, as well as hits like Do I Wanna Know, Brainstorm, Snap Out of It, Teddy Picker, Why'd You Only Call Me When You're High, and Arabella. Of course, it'd be really cool to see the band do something like that, but I think that's a few too many songs for them. The Blur approach. In July 2023, the Britpop icons Blur played their record, The Ballad of Darren, in full, only a few days after its release to a few thousand people. It was then followed by an encore of 6 tracks, the first 5 of which were extremely rare songs for the band. The most played track from the encore, Mr. Briggs, only had 16 prior performances. The show was then closed with The Universal, their staple show closer. Here's what I came up with, if the Arctic Monkeys did something similar. Like before, the main set would consist of the debut album front to back. The encore's a bit unconventional though. It starts with a very rare B-side, Bigger Boys and Stolen Sweethearts, which has only been played 22 times. We then completely switch up the place with Hello You off The Car. Mad Sounds is next, which brings the vibes way down, and transitions well into Only Ones Who Know. The penultimate track is The Jeweler's Hand off Humbug, until we go into the band's staple closer, Are You Mine. Now, will this happen? God no, but it would be insane to witness. The double album. This final setlist is a bit more realistic than the last, and has a bit of a longer runtime. My absolute dream setlist would be one with only tracks from the debut and Favorite Worst Nightmare. I could see the Monkeys playing this setlist in 2026 or 2027, as it would include both albums in their entirety. First, we would start where it all started, The View from the Afternoon. Instead of being followed by Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor, it will be followed by Brainstorm, the first track from Favorite Worst Nightmare. It is also the most common second song in an Arctic Monkeys setlist. We will then go into I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor, followed by Teddy Picker. These are all relatively common tracks for the Arctic Monkeys to include in their live gigs. I'm sure you can see the pattern now. We will keep alternating songs between the albums, keeping the same order. For the first time in over 10 years, the Monkeys play Fake Tales of San Francisco. This is what the people come for, the rarer tracks. The band then played D is for Dangerous, Dancing Shoes, Balaclava, and You Probably Couldn't See for the Lights, some of the least played tracks in the band's discography. We then get another classic Monkeys tune, Fluorescent Adolescent, followed by Still Take You Home for the first time since the Suckin' and See tour. Finally, the audience gets a bit of a breather after the high tempo tracks. The band slows things right down with Only Ones Who Know. In a foreign place, the saving grace was the feeling, which transitions perfectly into Riot Van. The energy starts to rise with another setlist classic, Do Me a Favor. From here, we get 2 rarer tracks, Red Light Indicates Doors Are Secured, for the first time since August 2006, followed by This House is a Circus. Before they lose the audience with obscure tracks, they follow it up with Marty Bum. This is then followed by tracks who haven't seen the light of day in years. If You Were There, Beware, perhaps Vampires is a bit strong, and The Bad Thing. To close out the main set, the instantly recognisable B major chord is strummed, bringing the audience into When the Sun Goes Down, which is then followed by Old Yellow Bricks. The band then leave the stage shortly for a brief break. The encore consists of songs they played on their previous tours, so the band is locked in. From the Ritz to the Rubble is the second last song from the debut record they'll play.
Last night was 2 bouncers and 1 was alright. The other ones are scary and his way or no way totalitarian.
The penultimate track is the band's most recognisable one yet, 505, the final track from Favourite Worst Nightmare. Matt Helder's drumming brings us into, of course, A Certain Romance. Ending similar to my dream setlist in one of my other videos. Is there not a more perfect closer? I'm certain this setlist will never be played, but man, a guy can dream. It would be weird hearing Alex tackle songs like Fake Tales of San Francisco or Red Light Indicates Doors Are Secured, but I'm sure the band would kill tracks like Riot Van and If You Were There, Beware. These are just some of the ideas of what a 20th anniversary tour could look like, but honestly, I could never see the band having a show dedicated to one of their previous albums. It's just not the kind of band they are. I would love to know what you would like from the band if they did do a 20th anniversary tour or show. I'd really appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button, as it would greatly help the channel out. And be sure to check out some of my other Arctic Monkeys videos. Thanks for watching.